Hi, folks. It's a Saturday evening, early evening here, Alaska Central Railroad in Wasilla, Alaska, and we're getting ready for a winter. We're putting all the trains to bed. All the cars are going into the roundhouse or the tunnel, and locomotives are going in the engine house or going to the back shop for repairs, things like that. And as you can see, we're Alaska Railroad themed. We have some of our locomotives here dressed in Alaska Railroad colors. They're modeled after actual Alaska Railroad locomotives. So yeah, and we we're not just strictly Alaska Railroad. We do have other nods to historic railroads. We have a locomotive, a steam locomotive that will eventually be a representative of a Council City and Solomon River Railroad, Forney. That railroad was up in Nome over 100 years ago during the gold rush. And we also have nods towards the Copper River Northwestern Railroad and, of course, our namesake, Alaska Central Railroad. Alaska Central Railroad is a historic name that goes all the way back to 1903 when the Alaska Central Railway, one of the first standard gauge railroads in Alaska, began construction. And that began construction out of Seward and now became part of the Alaska Railroad. So let's start with our locomotive here, the 1200s. This is 1202 and 1204. This is a cow and calf setup, meaning that the 1202 is the powered locomotive and 1204 is the controlling locomotive. The 1202 has a Kohler Magnum M8 engine in there, and it's connected to a hydraulic pump, an Eaton pump, and that pump provides power to the traction motors. On each truck, when a truck is these things, the cluster of wheels, each truck has a hydraulic motor, and for the sake of convenience, I'm going to be referring to them as traction motors. And the traction motors are connected to sprockets, various sprockets and chains, and that traction motor provides power to all the sprockets and chains, which turns the wheels. So even the controlling unit is also powered, has powered wheels, kind of like a slug, powered, what do they call it, like mother and slug. Anyway, so that's our 1200s. I'm not sure exactly what they're modeled after. They're a SW model of, but I'm just not exactly sure which SW. These were built by Jack Cleanbile in 1993, and they are the oldest diesel models here on the railroad. And we use them on the work trains. Recently, they were brought out of the deadline, and they were fixed up and were put back on the road. I say deadline not meaning that they were going to be scrapped or anything like that, just that they were out of service and there wasn't a lot of time or volunteer help to get them going back on the track. And now we got them going again. So they're awesome. They pull a lot, and they're good little units. And the next ones we have here are our SDs. We call them SDs. They're modeled after the SD70 Max on the Alaska Railroad. We have 4002 and 4008. I did a video showing them not too long ago. Same concept. 4002 is the powered unit. 4008 is the controlling unit. All the axles are powered by the traction motors and sprockets. It's gas hydraulic. And you can see it's got a real big industrial engine in the front there in the cab. And the Alaska Railroad uses 4002 and 4008 daily. Well, the big ones, full-size ones. And these were built, I'm not exactly sure what year these were built. I think these were built around 2000, 2001. They were built right around the time when the Alaska Railroad purchased the first order of SD70 Max, which was 16. Then over here, we're going to take a look at our 3008. And 3008 is a GP40-2 model, or I should say, again, it's modeled after a GP40-2, the 3008. And it's in a black and yellow freight scheme that at one point in time, most of the Alaska Railroad locomotives, either they wore that color or they were in that color. There's only 3 GP40-2s on the Alaska Railroad that are in this paint scheme. And for those that aren't really familiar with Alaska Railroad history, the 3008, the prototype 3008, suffered a wreck way back when, I believe in the late 80s, early 90s, and it crushed the engineer side of the cab. Thankfully, no one was in it when it rolled off. I believe it was being used in Snowfleet, and the spreader derailed and knocked it over, resulted in the cab getting crushed. So they grafted part of the cab from an old, I think a Conrail Jeep that Alaska Railroad owned, and it's still running today, but it lost its L window. All the Alaska Railroad Jeep 40s that they got from EMD had L windows, just like the Southern Pacific units. And this is modeled with the L window. This is a pre-wreck model. Pretty cool stuff here. I really enjoy these little trains. Well, they're not exactly little, but when you're used to the big stuff, these are little. But they can also still hurt you. 3008, I think, weighs around 900 pounds. 4002 and 4008, they combined weigh 1900 pounds, roughly 2000 pounds once they're all filled up and they have all their hydraulic fluid. Not sure how much 1200s weigh. I think they still weigh quite a bit, but they are significantly lighter. And they're also good for some of the tighter curves and what have you that we have on our railroad. And this is the engine house, obviously. And in here we have some other pieces of rolling stock that we have in here. And I'm going to crawl in there. So hold on one second. Aha! Here we are inside the engine house. A little bit messy in here, but not too bad. This is the work train, the core work train. When I say core work train, there's the gondola, the tool cart, and the caboose. We can sum it down to just 3 cars. Operating car for 1551, which is still undergoing truck rebuild. A riding car, which we're leaving in here mainly because we don't have room in the tunnel for it, but also for next spring when we open up, we need to have a riding car available. Here's a locomotive that I have not shown anybody or really done anything about. This is known as the Beast. And the Beast is a unit that we don't really use a whole lot. It's got some interesting issues with it that we're going to next year take care of, and we'll either use this as a backup unit, probably give it a nice paint job, maybe a Alaska Central Railroad, its own Alaska Central Railroad scheme, which we can design and create. And then back here we have a couple of trolleys. We have a battery-powered Toby and Henrietta car. And this is my son Thomas. Say hi, Thomas.
Hi.
And he likes coming out here with me too. So I know he's
every single day.
Well,
every single weekend.
Every single weekend, and not quite every single weekend, but we do come. Well, Thomas comes down here fairly often. I try to come down here every Saturday in the summer, and throughout the winter I come sometimes. So that's pretty much it with our engine house and with some of the engines that we have here. The other engines that you haven't seen is the Smurfs. The Smurfs are blue and white BNSF locomotives. They're Jeep 39s. Those are in the back shop right now being repaired. They have been featured in some of our past videos before. And like I said, they're in getting some repairs. That's pretty much it. Next year, hopefully, we'll have a full lineup of our locomotives out here so that everyone can get a chance to see. So I want to thank everybody for watching the channel and subscribing. Thanks for your comments and your constructive criticism. I know some of the sound quality and some of the videos hasn't been that great, but that's something that I've been trying to figure out how I can fix. So hopefully next year I'll have a nice video camera, and the sound quality will be a lot better. And since wintertime is coming, we won't be here as much. We will be down here to work on some engines and what have you. But we won't be. What have you? We won't be making as many videos and posting it on YouTube. Like I said, just because it's wintertime, we don't run in the wintertime. We don't have a plow or anything like that. Can you not walk on the track, buddy? So, and in some areas, the ground heaves. So we don't run in the wintertime. So with that being said, there will be a slowdown in videos and content on YouTube. And we'll try to save.
We can plow though. We can plow 2008.
Well, no.
A little.
A little, but not the whole railroad. Anyway, so I will try to post some videos throughout the winter. Little videos, maybe some shorts that I have that I've been saving. But for the most part, the channel's gonna get real quiet. But that doesn't mean that I won't be checking it or the comments. So hey, anything that you wanna post up, feel free to comment and like and subscribe to the channel. And we are located at 1300 Island Street in Wasilla, Alaska. You can follow us on Facebook at Alaska Central Railroad. The railroad is 2 words. Again, that's Alaska Central Railroad on Facebook. And that, folks, we're the Alaska Central Railroad. We may be small, but we have big ideas. After all, we're the main line for the Chugach Mountains. Thanks for watching, folks. Say bye, Thomas.
Bye-bye.